Hey everyone, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. We are now 1 week away from Doctor Who Season 7 coming back. It has been a long 2 months. Everyone's been waiting. Everyone's been anticipating of the return. And now it's finally here. So I thought it would be great if we could just kind of review, not into too much detail because, obviously, for the most part, I think everyone's seen these episodes, but for those who haven't for whatever reason, I'm just going to do a quick review. If you want a more detailed review, I have videos I made last year when the episodes came out, because I pretty much record when I do the reviews pretty much like the same weekend. So yeah, so these are just going to be a quick kind of like a kind of brush over everything. So to start, we got Season 7 back the 1st of September when we got Asylum of the Daleks. And it was a huge opening for the season, as far as I'm concerned. I thought the way Moffat handled it was so superb. And actually the writing throughout Season 7, I think, is pretty stellar. I think we've definitely have seen the writing of Doctor Who in its finest days in this season, as far as I'm concerned. So yes, Asylum of the Dalek. We first opens up to the Doctor being on Skaro inside this like kind of catacomb, empty shell of a statue, and he gets approached by this woman asking for help to find her little girl, and all this, just the random stuff he's used to having people ask him. But the Doctor sees right through it. He knows that this is not what it seems, and he's right. She ends up turning into this, turned out to be this Dalek human like hybrid, and he gets kidnapped and taken onto the Dalek Parliament ship, which is this huge, massive ship. And then when that's done, it goes to present day, and we see Amy and Rory in pretty much like the biggest fight of their relationship. They're pretty much basically the real life has definitely taken its toll on them, because they're used to being able to do and be wherever they want. But being back on Earth and everything, Amy is unstable. She's constantly looking for the Doctor, always anticipating him to come around, and that's not healthy for any relationship. And so they're at each other's throat, and pretty much they just want a divorce. They want over, and they're being to each other. So but that doesn't stop the Daleks. Obviously they don't care, so they kidnap both Amy and Rory. And this is definitely a Easter egg, but the light flickering that happens in this episode and many others to follow. So again, Moffat, being the kooky mind puzzle that he is, he throws those in. So yeah, he's taken to the Dalek Parliament ship. It's like the biggest Dalek ship like we've ever seen, really, probably in a while. And so basically the Daleks have come to the Doctor for help, which that's pretty insane to think about. Your worst enemy coming to you for help. That there's a situation that they can't handle and that they think you should handle. So come to find out that the Daleks have been experimenting on humans to make these hybrids, and some of them are not to their liking, and some are very dangerous, and so they want the Doctor to go down there and settle them. So they send them down by this big, long, white stream of light, and we saw that light in Empty Child, so that's pretty cool that we see the same technology in both of those episodes. Then so when pretty much like when they're sent down to Skaro, they get sent down there pretty hard. Like the landing is not exactly the smoothest for all three of them. and they run into this fellow named Harvey. He's like dressed in like snow gear, because pretty much like the whole entire planet is like covered in snow. And come to find out, like, you know, he for again, just like, you know, the woman in the statue, you know, he's like, you know, can you help me? You know, I've got people here who are trapped and they're trying to get off this planet. But come to find out is this guy's been dead like the entire time, and he's actually a Dalek. Like the nano genes have been converting the dead into Daleks, and that's like pretty creepy. Think about zombie apocalypse, but throw in the Dalek technology behind it. That's pretty freaking, like, you know, if Deadman Walking and Doctor Who were to meet up, that would be pretty freaking amazing. So, so then they come across this young woman who is supposedly, from what we could tell, she's stuck in this like spaceship, and she's like, you know, damsel in distress and looking for help. But she's very flirty, and she's very, you know, ambiguous. And basically, we come to find out she's Clark. She's Osmond, and she just is such a pistol. She's awesome and super smart and very, and what's the word? Kind of, she really holds on to her humanity, just like, you know, how Rory did when he became the plastic thing. He held on his humanity. Well, when Clara got turned into the Dalek, she used every fiber of her being to try to hang on to her humanity, and that is just, it was so awesome to see her do that. But it was so sad that, you know, it was kind of too late to save her. That she was already too far gone to be saved, and yet she was still wanting to be saved. And that was really heartbreaking. But then she turns around and she saves them. You know, she wipes the memories of the Daleks, so where they supposedly forget who the Doctor is. So when they sort everything out and they get back to the Dalek ship, they have no idea who he is. And I thought that was really clever of her, but I don't know how long that's going to last. If that's like going to be an ongoing thing, they're just not going to know who he is. And, you know, if that's going to make them more dangerous or what. So I'm looking to see how the Daleks are going to evolve now that they don't know who he is. But the thing that I have to say about that also too is Daleks are not exactly the most honest, you know, species and whatever. So I don't know. I'm still kind of skeptical. I have kind of some questions about that. But for the episode in general, it was great. If I were to give it, you know, 10 out of, you know, from a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give that, like, the opening, about a 9. It was a really good opening. Obviously, there's certain parts, obviously, that, you know, I have questions over. But I think that's pretty much the whole premise of the show. You know, no matter how many episodes they make, there's always going to be questions. So, then on to the next episode, which we see, which is the dinosaur ones, dinosaurs on a spaceship. After the Doctor drops them off from Asylum, they kind of Amy and Rory make up, and they're back together, and they're with Rory's dad, who is Brian Williams, aka Mark Williams, who is also known as Mr. Weasley from Harry Potter. We see them in, like, I guess, like the living room or parlor, changing out a light bulb. Again, light bulbs. Second time we see light bulbs showing up, and for some reason the light bulbs are just not working in the Ponsel for some reason. And all of a sudden, the Doctor comes in and swoops them up. But before he did that, he was in Egypt with Nefertiti, and then he was with John Riddell in Africa before he even went to go get the pawns. Now, two things I want to point out about John Riddell before I get too much into it is I honestly think he was intentionally to be Alan Quartermain, who is a pretty much like an older version of Indiana Jones. And so I think maybe that's who he was intending to be, but maybe Moffat didn't have the rights to the name or whatever. But John Riddell always emulates Alan Quartermain. And so I thought John Riddell was a really cool character. And then we see when they get onto the ship, it's a big round, like kind of circular ship, and it was belonged to the Silurians, who, as we know, are the humanoid reptilian species that lives beneath the Earth, that have been inhabiting the Earth for like eons. And they're pretty classic Who villains / I mean, some people think them as villains, some people don't. Just like humans, there's good and bad Silurians. So there's no black and white. There's a lot of gray when it comes to Silurians, of whether or not they're good or not. I think it all depends on the individual Silurian. Just like there's some good humans, bad humans, and good Time Lord, bad Time Lord. So there is no black and white. So we come to find out that the Silurian shape has been hijacked by the evil Solomon, who's played by David Bradley, who we know as Mr. Finch from Harry Potter. So we have two Harry Potter alumni in this episode. That was really cool to bring Harry Potter, actors into this. It was really, nice to see them again. So we see that, obviously there's that Solomon had hijacked this ship, and for some reason it had come back to Earth. It had been gone for like years and years and years, like a long time, and it somehow, after all the Silurians were gone and killed, that it piloted way back to Earth. And it was now like pretty much heading straight for Earth, and it was going to collide and cause a lot of damage. And it looked like the people that were in charge of the situation was like a unit / like in India, like a kind of like an Indian Torchwood unit thing. And basically they were not going to allow the ship to crash on Earth, and so it was the Doctor's mission to try to stop it. And so he enlists the Pawns, Brian Williams, John Riddell, and Queen Nefertiti to try to help, bring Solomon down and try to get the ship to reroute itself or try to stop it. But Solomon is pretty hell-bent in getting what he wants. Either he wants the ship and the spaceship and the dinosaurs, or he wants, and then on top of that, it was in trade to have Queen Nefertiti in exchange for the dinosaurs. But either way, this guy was just an evil dude. Just nothing that could be said or done about him was good. And so that's why at the end, the doctor just pretty much lets the Torchwood unit, whatever, of India destroy him and that ship. And he had really no remorse, because this guy, there's nothing that could be done to save him. He was beyond saving. And so, I know some people think that's a harsh way of looking at it, but, I mean, what are you going to do? And so, yeah, I mean, it was bad, but, it was necessary. And just, I don't know. I thought that, it was, I don't know. Let's see what else about that episode. Oh, the kissing of Rory and the Doctor. I think that was a big highlight of that of that episode. That was pretty funny. And then, oh yeah, when Tracy got killed, that was really bad. Again, that showed how merciless that Solomon was. He was willing to kill an innocent dinosaur who had nothing to gain or lose from the situation at hand, and he still killed unmercilessly. So again, I mean, maybe the doctor was harsh in what he did, but maybe it was necessary because, I mean, if he was still around, what would he be doing? So, yeah, that was the end of the dinosaurs on Spaceship. And so, oh yeah, before we exited that episode, we got to see Brian get to see the outside of the planet. That was pretty nice for him. And then the Doctor dropped off John, Riddell, and Queen Nefertiti back within their own time stream. I'm not exactly sure where exactly because they didn't say, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty close. I would hope. And then that pretty much ends that episode. And then we get into the town called Mercy, which really, I think is a really fitting title, especially how the dinosaur thing ended. It kind of goes into further more of the Doctor's way of viewing of things. But in the episode itself, just basically the storyline is, these doctors have been experimenting on people and making them into cyborg, killing machines, and eventually one of them turns on him. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He can't stand the idea of his humanity comes through, and he can't stand taking out these people, so he decides to take out the doctors instead. Well, he manages to kill most of them except for one. One escapes and goes to Earth in the 19th century, around the Wild Wild West, kind of like around Texas, Arkansas, and all that. We're still not sure exactly where this town was, because it doesn't give us an exact description. But you can assume it might be like in Texas or New Mexico or whatever. And when they get there, we find this little town is being threatened by the cyborg, and at first you think that the cyborg is the villain. I mean, it's kind of the way that they open it up is you are given the idea that the villain is the cyborg when really he's not. When we get more into it, we find out that this Carl Jex, Carl Jex is the supposed doctor. He's been using the doctor's name to kind of, I don't know, get some some fame for his name, even though he's really not, as ambivalent as our doctor is. So, in fact, actually, in my opinion, he's a freaking coward, especially the way he ended things. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think the two questions I mostly have about that episode still are, is the border that was around the town, and the lady that played the lady that was supposedly the bartender, the one with the curly hair. At first glance, before you really look at her face, the first thing you think is she River Song? Because she kind of had, like, her body and her hair, from a far off glance, you kind of think it is her. So, I don't know, maybe if that was just a coincidence, or if she was a reincarnation, a new regeneration of her, or what. And even there was a time in which the doctor was engaging her that makes you wonder if he knew who she really was. So if she really was River, that's great. That means that she was around during that time. So that was pretty cool. If not, then it's just a coincidence that she looks like her. But the story was really neat. And again, we get more light flickering stuff throughout the town, and in the jail area. And the biggest thing of all of it was we got to see that the doctor is fed up. He's fed up with saving villains. He's tired of losing people to those villains because he gives them a chance. And pretty much every time he gives people a chance like that, they pretty much spit in his face. He's given the Master plenty of chances. He's given other villains chances. And they throw it back in his face. So, I think the title, A Town Called Mercy, it's kind of like a dark humor joke. That, that he has just he's reached his limits. Everyone eventually does. You can still be a hero, you know. I think every single superhero has reached that point at some point where they break their own rules, where where you have to really take in consideration, is saving this person weighing out more than if they're alive or dead. Who benefits more from it, you know. And it isn't like, the doctor like pulled a gun on Solomon and shot him. It's not like he actually, did anything to Jex himself. He just kind of lets them take out themselves, sort of. And really, Jex is a coward. He was just, I'm sorry, but committing suicide was the worst way to go. This guy could have turned himself in. He could have gone to jail. He could have done something to repent for what he did. But no, he locks himself in his ship and then kills himself. And that is like the worst way to go. So, yeah, just really bad. But just there's a lot of questions still around that episode as well. And hopefully, as the season ends, as we get closer into more episodes, maybe more will be revealed about these episodes. Because some people, the episodes that we've had so far, some people are questioning if they're even in order. Because last season season 6 wasn't in order. So to think that this season 7 might be in order, maybe it's not. Or maybe part of it is and maybe part of it isn't. So with Moffat, you can't really tell. So this concludes this part of the video. I will make a second part to talk more of the other episodes that we've had. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and comment. Anything that I've talked about, if you guys have any questions, please comment. And I've actually been seeing that no one can comment on any of my videos. I don't know why that is, and I do encourage you to communicate with me. So don't be shy. Say what's on your mind, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.